So, first order of business is to clean the car. So right now what I'm doing is I'm using a green machine to basically scrub out all the stains on the seats. And the seats are already in great condition, surprisingly, because when we bought it there was seat covers on it. So now we're pretty much gonna clean out all the stains on the seats so it'll look like it was out of the factory. Okay, current progress. The car is able to drive, and it drives very nicely. All it needed was a good 5-lap test drive. We've reassembled the dash. The dash was unassembled when we got it. Re-plugged in all the lights. Everything works very nicely. We threw on this cover to make the cracked dash less obvious. We replaced the belt in the engine. Turns out that we didn't need to replace the water pump. It wasn't necessary, it was a brand new one. So we put the belt from the parts car into here. So it now has a new belt that works perfect. And the reason why the car is on ramps is because it has a couple of leaks. As you can tell, the car's been leaking radiator fluid and power steering fluid. And the idea is to fix the leaks and replace the fluid in the car so that it works perfectly. Also, we figured out the tire PSI. It was a bit of an odd location on the car, but it has 28 PSI, and it is a very nice setup here, because if you want to know your tire PSI, just go. Also, we found a trim piece for the top window trim, which is missing. In addition, the trunk is missing carpeting, but it's also missing the spare tire that's in the parts car, but it's missing a lot of the paneling that would go in and make this car look complete. I'm not sure if I want to add that back on, but it'll probably be something for later once we get this car running very nicely. And now for an in-depth tour of my new car. So this is a Datsun 280ZX. It's a used car. We bought it for this and a parts car, and now I'm gonna give you an in-depth tour. So we have aircraft-inspired instruments. All the electronics work, and it runs and drives. We have the dome light, which has been running for too long, but anyway, we have the shift knob, which needs to be replaced here, and the shift part would go on here, but it needs some glue. Don't worry about it. It has a glove box, and we reassembled the glove box and all the dash. Just has some paperwork from repairs and things like that the previous owner did. Let's take a look outside of the car so I can show you more about it. So this car was repainted in the previous owner's garage. It was very well done for a paint job that was done by a single person, but as you can tell, it was repainted from the color it previously was, which is brown. Everything is pretty nice except for one imperfection on the hood. And the hood has a bit of dimple issues here. Along here, There's a couple of paint imperfections. I don't know if you can see them on camera here, but I can certainly feel them. There's a couple of like freckle dimple kind of things. The engine is a straight 6. No real upgrades, pretty much the stock engine. Yeah, that's about it with this car. Onto the parts car. So, this is the parts car. It's a bit of a rust bucket compared to the other one. And it's getting dark, so I'm using a flashlight here, but see lots of rust issues here. We have lots of rust going on all around here. This is definitely not savable, so we'll probably just take the parts that we need out of it and sell it. On to a tour of the interior, which is extremely cluttered. Door didn't creak like normal. Oh, there we go. There's a little creak from the door. This is a 1983 car, so a bit more has been added. Not too much more, just more chrome. The trim is still here. The back wiper is still here. Radio is still here. Air conditioning unit is still here. The only issue is that this car has been sitting in a field for 2 years. Onto the other side of the car, you'll see that a couple of critters made a nest inside of the glove box. As you can see, there's no actual critters inside of here, but look at that rat's nest. Alright, and there's also one in the hood, which I'll show you. Besides that, it's a relatively perfect engine. There's obviously, for safety reasons, there's a little safety handle. You pull that, and the hood opens right up. As you can see, there's another rat's nest right there. The rest of the engine is in relatively good shape. There's obviously a couple critters living in here like spiders and ants. But the car is in excellent condition for sitting in a field for 2 years. Hopefully we'll be able to take more parts out of it. We've already taken the belt and put it in the other car. As you can see, there's no belt. I can just spin these little wheels freely. Nothing's happening, so. We may also use the stock air intake. We'll put that back in. Maybe more difficult than normal because the other one's aftermarket. The interior is all here. It's red velvet interior. Alright, here's the original card for the car that the mechanics would use to see what they would need to put in it. Like the chassis, wheelbase, all that kind of information is right here. Pretty easy to read because there's spacing between the letters. This car is actually a year newer than the other car, but it doesn't look a year newer. It looks 5 years older. I'll conclude this episode here, and we will do more restoration parts in the future.